So you're probably thinking, Teddy, it's 2019, the Orient Mako 3 has just been announced, the Seiko SKX is everywhere. Why review the Orient Mako 2 now? Well, I would argue it's the perfect time to review it. Why? Let's get into the review. So guys, I recently got my hands on an Orient Mako 2. It's a watch that I've wanted to buy and get my hands on for a long time. And let's just do a deep dive review starting with each component of the watch and personally why I think it's a very interesting buy for 2019. So looking at the specs of this watch when it starts with the case, we're looking at a case size of 41.5 millimeters in diameter. Lug to lug height of this watch wears at 47 millimeters, which is pretty good sizing for a watch of this nature. Case thickness, we're looking at 13 millimeters thick, so pretty much right in line with the SKX. I'm gonna probably use that as a good comparison throughout this video. And then the lug width here, 22 millimeters. Overall, this watch wears very well on my wrist, and I had it in my rotation for a few weeks and found no problems with the dimensions even on my 6¼ inch wrist. The watch wears even smaller than the dimensions would indicate considering its curved lugs. I will say that the watch has a good amount of heft with its case. It feels well constructed on the wrist and comes in with 200 meters of water resistance. The watch does not meet ISO standards, but considering it's $130 to $150 where you can usually find this watch on sale, and for being a watch that probably appeals more to design than being a watch that will actually appeal to functional professional diving, I don't think this is a horrible thing. The case is made of stainless steel with a combination of polished finished sides and then brushed lugs, which really lends well when you look at how it connects to the bracelet. So when looking at the bracelet, it's really nothing extraordinary, but for the price, I think it does an okay job. It has a mix of brushing and polishing on the links and is easy to adjust. However, this is one of the areas of the watch where I think you can tell you're handling a more affordable watch. For most of the time that I was wearing this watch, I didn't have it on a bracelet. I had it on a leather strap, and I know many people are gonna think, leather strap on a diver, come on Teddy, what are you doing? Whatever, it's something I like to do. It fits me better. I'm not gonna apologize for it. But I do think the bracelet has a lot of parallels to Seiko bracelets, which makes sense considering these are both Japanese, both housed under the Seiko umbrella of watches, where I think you're getting a lot of heft and quality in the actual case itself, but the bracelet, you probably could go ahead and buy a third-party bracelet that would do a better job. So now when looking at this watch's dial and design, I think this is really where things start to stand out. When you look through the mineral glass of this watch, you will see a beautiful blue sunburst dial for this particular variation that features a mix of indices and numerals on the dial, which I feel look very well balanced with the day-date function at the 3 o'clock position. The deep blue dial looks great in and out of light with its sunburst effect. However, even in darker lit areas, I feel it still manages to look very vivid. One of my favorite design features of this watch are the sword hands and the red tip second hand, which is a big reason for my preference of this model compared to the Orient Ray line. On the hands and applied markers, you will find luminescence that's applied, and it is all right luminescence. You're not gonna get the same amount that you would with its Seiko counterparts. And just to provide an example of this, I'll put up a lume shot comparing this Orient Mako 2 to another watch that I purchased as of late, the Seiko SRPC 93. And yes, the SRPC 93 is definitely a more expensive watch, but I think it is a good way of comparing the two looms. The bezel of this watch is 120 click and is rather smooth when turning. However, it is not as thick, which from a design standpoint, I feel helps with keeping a slimmer profile of the watch and really ultimately leading to a better look in my opinion, but perhaps lacks when it comes to actual functionality. And I could imagine for an actual diver to be a little bit difficult to get your hands around, especially if you're wearing any types of scuba gear. But now let's jump along to the movement. Inside this watch, we have an Orient in-house caliber, their automatic F6922. This movement features a 40-hour power reserve coming in with 21,600 beats per hour. It is claimed to be accurate plus or minus 15 seconds a day, which I found to be true when running a couple tests. And this movement also has manual winding and hacking capabilities. In other words, the ability for the second hand to stop when pulling out the crown to improve time setting abilities. So going back to the original point that I made in the video, why review this watch now? For one, let's just start with this. This watch is great value for money. It has awesome dimensions, which can be accommodating to many wrists with that 41.5 millimeter case, that 47 lug to lug height, and thickness that I think wears even smaller with its more curved case design. I love the sword hands on this watch and the mixed numerals and applied indices. I think I personally prefer this model over the Orient Ray line, but really why I think this watch is now more intriguing than ever in early 2019, and this watch has been out for years, is really when you look at the landscape of other competitive divers in this range. With the rising prices of the SKX line going above $200 and the steeper price point of the Mako 3 being at least $100 more and having many of the same specs as this Orient 2 model, I think you start to see this watch for what it is. One of the best affordable divers on the market. And for someone like myself who was able to get it for $130, I don't think this can be overstated enough. Yes, this watch does not have the ISO standards that the SKX line would have, and I think many people might prefer the Ray line or want to go for the newer design of the Mako III. However, I think all of these points lead to why this watch has become quite special as of late. Now the price points are just continuing to go down and staying true to form as the SKX goes up, and the Orient Mako III line is now out and available. Not as available as this. You will find these watches everywhere. So with that all being said, I honestly think for under $150, I think this possibly is the best automatic diver watch that you can find. I think it comes down to the Orient Mako II and then also the Orient Ray line. I think they both provide a ton of value, and it's really a matter of preference. But I'd love to see comments down below. What do you guys think for the best affordable diver with a comparable price point to this watch? So I'm gonna be giving away this watch in this upcoming month. All you need to do is fill out the watch giveaway form, but going forward for watch giveaways, we're gonna do those every single month. You need to be following me on Instagram, so those are the two things you need to do. Fill out the watch giveaway form, follow me on Instagram if you want to be entered to win in upcoming months. We have a really exciting watch we're gonna be doing next, the Seiko SRPC 93, which I featured in my video where I went watch shopping at different traditional retailers like Walmart, Target, Macy's, in places of that nature. So definitely check out that video and definitely fill out the form and then go to my Instagram and follow me there if you want to be entered to win that watch. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this review and you want me to continue to do reviews, definitely give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That's a great indicator for me and just figuring out what type of content you guys want to see more of and you don't want to see more of. Also, just another important note, don't be a watch enthusiast that just thinks about watches themselves. If you want to get the most mileage out of your watches and your collection, you need to be thinking about watch straps. On my website, I have some of the best watch straps in the industry, and if you are in the market, go over there. It's a great way to support the channel and get some of the best watch straps around for the price point. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.